Greetings, fellow true believers. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And tonight, we're here to comb through a box of files we liberated from a fallen shield base. On event, we're tackling in 10 thrilling installments. And tonight, we're talking about episode 8, entitled The Edge of Mystery. So join us as we dust off these SSR files on the shield agent before there was even a shield, and go assessing Agent Carter. Now let's start with an audio tape.
And now it's time for the Agent Carter Adventure Program, brought to you by Roxxon Motor Oil and Tales of Suspense, coming to a theater near you. Tonight's adventure has Edwin Jarvis faithfully by his wife's bedside until he receives earth-shattering news. Meanwhile, Chief Sousa and Agent Carter confront Magia boss Joseph Manfredi to strike a deal with Whitney Frost. All the while, Dr. Samberly races to complete the Gamma Pulse cannon. Can our heroes pull off this deal without a hitch? Will Jarvis exact sweet, sweet revenge and risk it all? Has Dr. Wilkes lost it completely? Stay tuned and find out. Yes, folks, that's right. We're back yet again to talk about Agent Carter, and wow, episode 8 and 9 combined, but episode 8, fantastic opening. I gotta tell you, these two episodes are really gonna be fantastic. They really played very well. I gotta tell you, 8 has potential to be one of the best this season. It's some of the most heart-tugging moments. We had some awesome Magia action. It's everything I kind of wanted from this season in many respects. It's kind of next episode also has basically the best moment of the entire season in the next episode. But let's just say this episode, though, it does really kind of capture kind of all the great stuff we loved about season 1 of Agent Carter with kind of the emotion. It has like heart-tuggingness close to that Brooklyn Bridge sequence from the end of the first movie. Sorry, from the end of the first season, the famous Brooklyn Bridge sequence. It's basically some heart-tugging moments that are just getting you to that point of like you're so caught up in it. It's so moving. It's amazing. It just shows you the caliber of storytelling we have from our Marvel writers of the first and from both Captain America movies, and I believe the third one, just kind of working their magic in Agent Carter. We'll see if they're working on the third one. I don't know. It might be some crossover in there, so they may or may not have worked on it. The point is, we're talking about episode 8.
Episode 8, all right. And are we ready to dive right into it?
Yeah.
All right, I apologize for the delay. Jesus Christ, this has not been my day. Okay, so episode 8, where do we start?
Well, we flash back to last season, 1946, during the nitramine diffusing thing back in the first episode, I believe.
Yep, New York, 1946, 1 year ago. So it's Jarvis is talking on the phone with a blonde Peggy Carter.
Yes, and Anna, well, she was in this scene. I want to say it was one. There's a chance it could have been the second one because remember the nitrogen blew up and took out the Roxxon plant, the Roxxon facility or something. Right. So I'm not sure if it was the second episode. The point is, no, she was in the wig. It was the first episode because that's when the roommate died. Mm-hmm. It was the first episode. Point is, we heard we didn't really hear we didn't see her, but we heard Anna Jarvis saying, "Edwin, are you home? Oh, I'm right here, Anna. Everything's fine." So we get to see the other side. We get to see the flip side, kind of Breaking Bad style. We get to see kind of the flip side of a memorable event. I believe they even pulled the footage from the first episode in this scene.
Okay.
So we had Anna listening in on the other side about what's going on, about Jarvis walking her through, diffusing the nitramine bomb. So she comes home and she's saying, "Oh, I had a life drawing class. Oh, how progressive."
Next week we begin nudes.
Oh, how progressive. So she eventually Jarvis tells her about Baker. Oh, the man you're working with on the phone. Says, "Oh no, it was a woman. Mm-hmm. The woman Howard Stark's working with." And she gives like a moment like Howard Stark working with a woman.
It's not like the others. He actually respects her.
Yeah, I love that. Just Jarvis early on, just knowing that there's something different about her. Something I think he actually respects her. He's not trying to fondue with her or anything.
Oh God, not according to Captain America.
Yeah. But they finally call back on the as Jarvis on the phone. Oh, it's soon it's gonna be time for Benny Goodman. I love they brought the Benny Goodman thing back. By the way,
Wait, that's Benny Hill,
yeah, that's
right?
Benny. It's Benny.
Oh,
Hill.
my bad. I'm a
Benny
bad
Goodman.
Tiki.
Yes, Benny Goodman, the musician, not the comedy star. So anyways, I love the callback of Benny Goodman, just them listening to him on the radio. It's like it's a ritualistic thing for them. They turn on the radios, they listen to him, and just kind of enjoy each other's company.
My grandparents have been married for like 40 years, and they've never missed an episode of Wheel of Fortune. It's adorable. So it's kind of like that.
It's an equivalent, yeah. So basically, she says, "Okay, it's time for Benny Goodman." She says, "Oh, you're trying to distract me, aren't you? Distract me from worry." And Jarvis makes a promise here. Says, "Look, I promise you, Anna, that Miss Carter won't interfere with our lives in the least." And I got to tell you, there's such a great sadness. On the rewatch, this line really sticks out. Oh my God, there's such sadness associated.
Oh, I think you can just like the word promises is like the most important word in this whole script. Like, this is great writing right here, how promises works its way through the episode.
I mean, like, the smart strategic thing of, like, saying, oh, she won't interfere with, like, this opening here is just so fantastic of it. So, it's really
totally.
We ended on a really dramatic part. We ended on a fantastically dramatic part last episode. And now it's just kind of like you're wondering where we're going to come in for that. We see Anna, and then okay, everything's fine. It's a little flashback going on here. It's like everything went back when everything is rosy, and there were promises for an interesting future. And Miss Carter won't interfere with our lives in the least. The promises call back. I'll make promises you can't keep. Then we cut to, oh boy, we cut to a rough-looking Jarvis. He's exhausted. He's emotionally crushed.
How many minutes should we give this guy alone with Bryan Cranston's Emmy for this episode? That's the question we should be asking.
I'm glad you asked. You know what? I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to up the ante. I think he should be able to hold Bryan Cranston's Emmy.
Oh shit!
For a few minutes, just for I'm saying let him hold the Emmy for 3 minutes.
3 minutes. All right, that's all it gets.
That's a big get though. That's a big get. I mean, Jonathan Banks, he's basically melted down all of Anna Gunn's Emmys to give Jonathan Banks like kind of a Seven Dwarf style.
The Emmys is like our equivalent to Zero Matter. It's like you touch them and they just give you infinite acting strength.
Yeah, but seriously, oh my God, so James Darcy, seriously, I mean, he actually should be probably.
He cracked it out of the park this episode. He showed a side of him that we've never seen from him thus far in the series.
Honestly, no joke. I think he actually should get nominated for an Emmy of some kind for this performance. He delivered so well this season.
I doubt he will, but I don't disagree with you that he should.
Yeah. I mean, I think he'd get it for. I mean, if it's for supporting, I think he might have a good shot at it. But then again,
Game of Thrones, I don't know. That's the thing. The Emmy has just turned into a Game of Thrones circle jerk at this point.
Well, now Breaking Bad is kind of out of the equation now.
Well, yeah, and now they've turned their attention to Game of Thrones, so that's just how it works, anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, back to this. So seriously, so you have James Darcy turns an absolutely wonderful performance these next 2 episodes. It's all strikingly beautiful.
Keep in mind, I still haven't seen episode 9, so we're gonna have to play that game again. I apologize.
Haven't watched. No, okay. Point is, this episode he's still really great in this episode too. 9 is just good. It's good. You need like buckets for your tears in episode.
Oh god.
Point is, and again, let me hype you up for episode 2. They're the best moment of the entire season's in episode 2. I mean, the second in the second.
I know what you're
episode.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see. The point is, seriously though, just James Darcy, you see him as like kind of like a happy-go-lucky in the past. Like Jarvis is kind of getting into the adventure now. It's like kind of the punchline of like, now you got into the adventure, now you're gonna live the cost of that. Where he's completely emotionally distraught, and he's like by his wife's bedside. You see the redness of his eyes. He's just been up he hasn't slept a wink.
Oh yeah.
And he's he's so desperate, and he's desperately just trying to fix the radio. And this, oh my God, James, seriously, let him hold the Emmy.
No, he can totally hold the Emmy. I have no qualms with him holding the Emmy.
Let him get a selfie with the Emmy. Let him get a selfie with him holding the Emmy. Anyway, so Peg enters, and she has like coffee, like that. I'm sorry, like tea or coffee or something. And then the way he delivers this line is so beautifully heartbreaking. He says he's trying to get Groucho Marx on because he knows right after Groucho Marx, Benny Goodman's going to play out into the schedule, and he knows Benny Goodman will follow, and if she can somehow hear that, and then a moment goes by, and because deep down, I love that he can just say so much without finishing the statement. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, because he's just playing it so the emotions communicate so well. In the desperation, you can smell the desperation at home, folks, on this guy. Like, oh my god, I want to help this guy. Or he's like saying, emotionally, he's thinking, if I can just trigger like a happier memory, she can awaken and she'll be here with me. And then he before he can even say something, like just smashes the radio because it's just so frustrating. He's like at wit's end. And Peggy Gore's like seeing her friend here is at his lowest point. Absolutely, like this, he would rather die than have anything bad happen to Anna.
Oh yeah, and it's just the start of Darcy's performance here, but it's definitely a powerful moment.
Seriously, folks, so you're thinking, how can he possibly get better than this for James Darcy's performance?
He can.
Like, oh my god, especially next episode too. I'm not going to say what happens in the next episode. Oh boy,
I'm worried about it considering where we left off and the particular cliffhanger, but we'll see.
Okay, let's see. So Peg tries comforting him by she's saying, look, she has color in her cheeks. She's had surgery, and then Jarvis again is playing the desperation with that. Again, he played this at the end of the last episode, just playing so well for his emotional state right now. He's not finishing these statements, but the emotions communicating.
Totally.
Or he's just saying, they can't even say if she'll wake up.
Yeah, and it's like he still is having a hard time just getting that out. It's, oh man.
And again, I like how they're kind of highlighting the thing. It kind of gets glazed over in TV shows and movies all the time. Like when someone gets shot, as long as it's not in the major organ, they'll be fine.
Yeah, because Peggy, it's like it's not as bad as last episode, but she's still kind of limping around. She's still kind of like holding her hand to the wound.
Exactly. It's like they're playing the realistic injury. Like, when someone gets shot, that's still really dangerous because, again, you can all this stuff. It's like everyone just figures, okay, well, shot in the arm, he's fine. It's like that last action hero gag.
Sure. You should watch The Walking Dead if you want plenty of that madness in addition to your hate of zombies. Oh, man.
I'm not saying it's a huge issue with the whole getting shot in the arm and like being fine, but I'm just because for action heroes it's one thing, but for like kind of the regular people, they kind of forget that too. It's.
I hear you.
It's like you can see we've kind of made peace with. I'm talking about like Last Action Hero makes a gag of like, Arnold Schwarzenegger gets shot, He's in real life he's dying, but he gets in the movie. He's like, oh, it's his flesh, and we just got shot in the arm. He's fine. Okay, let's see. So, it says, well, they can't even say if she'll wake up. And Peg says, well, look, she needs you here and listening to your voice. That's what you can do for her now. And Peg says, I'm going home. I'm going to get one of Howard Stark's radios, a toothbrush, a razor, and a change of clothes. So when she wakes up, and she will, you're gonna look like, and this is a great line too. Rewatching it, so you look like you when she wakes up.
Oh yeah.
And the idea of Jarvis kind of going through so much now and maybe not being the same, going through this traumatic event and having his whole character changed upon experiencing this event. It's like when she wakes up, Jarvis will definitely be different. Even if he changes his clothes and looks the same, he's going to be different deep down because he's gone through this.
Right.
Okay, so Wilkes wakes up.
Oh boy.
And he's cuffed to a pipe or something, as Whitney Frost wants to compare notes. And I just love Wilkes in the scene. He said, "No, you want to compare notes like this?"
I think Frost continues to just be so fun here. Like she's like a little schoolgirl wanting to have a science buddy. You know what I mean?
Yes. Lengths at which Whitney Frost tries to make friends.
That's what I'm saying. It's fucking adorable.
It's like, can you imagine how like little Agnes Cully met chubby Steven Universe sized Calvin? It's just like, again, Agnes Cully is Connie with these big old glasses on. Just saying, well, why am I chained to this pipe? So we can be friends. Either that or like Peridot. Either like Connie or like Peridot, just saying, so we can be friends.
Oh God, that's definitely more of a Peridot thing.
It is. Okay, anyway, so Steven Universe parallels aside, back to what's actually going on. So Wilkes is like, what are you doing? I can't converse with you like this. And he was just saying, she questions, what happens when you disappear out of existence? What do you see? Mm-hmm. And basically she tells him, well, I've studied you, and you have about 2 minutes before you start the phase into non-existence.
And then he kind of tries to bluff. He's like, well, I'm hoping I disappear and don't ever come back.
And she knows that's not true because you go into such extensive lengths to keep yourself on the plane of existence.
Of course.
And It would make sense, though. Eventually, I think we're going to see Wilkes just going to be so desperate he doesn't care anymore. Like, oh,
I think that's ultimately where Wilkes' storyline is going, because he definitely kind of jumped the gun with his arc. I think he's past the point of redemption to a certain extent.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Keep in mind, I don't even know where episode 9 leads. So.
I mean, keep in mind, I could be a really good liar, or not. So, let's see. So she tries. So we see Wilkes. He's trying to stall for time, or for Peggy to come and rescue him. He says, "Okay, well, let me write it down for you." He says, "No, you're just trying to stall for you to fade, and you think you're gonna get away, or for Peggy Carr to rescue you."
So you're saying I'm stalling?
Yes.
I'm glad you got that reference.
I know. You think I wouldn't get that reference? That was the last time SpongeBob was good.
Stalling. All right.
Anyway, and then Whitney Frost provides a new option. You know, we work together. You know, you and I were connected from the Zero Matter.
Science bros. Haven't you seen Avengers: Age of Ultron?
Oh, not yet. It hasn't been made yet. We're in the 40s, lady. You're delusional.
There's a lot of allusions to the Hulk this episode, though.
Yes, there are. Yes.
Oh my God. Anyways.
Then she says, "Okay, just one question. Do you hear the voice? Do you hear the voice? You know, the voice that sounds like it's your thoughts, but it's coming from somewhere else."
Mm-hmm.
So I love the way she did. I love that description, by the way, of what the Zero Matter kind of voice is.
Yeah, yeah.
Then she says, you know, he's like trying to deny it, and you can sense that, yeah, I hear it too. He just says, "This won't hurt. This won't hurt a bit." And she touches him. Basically, the idea whenever he's about to fade from him, she's been keeping time of it, so she can just touch him and give him like a little bit to sustain himself.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's the idea. I mean, that's why he's chained to the thing, I figure. Otherwise, you just phase out of the thing.
Okay, so Sousa and Peggy. Peggy's telling Sousa about Anna.
Yep. I just love the idea, though. He's like examining the crime scene, and then Peg comes by. He's like, "Oh, thank God it's not her blood."
Great.
And he tells Peg that Vernon's looking for the uranium rods because he had two men. Again, year one style, pulled from Batman, beat him up. So he basically, Peggy says, "Why don't we give them to her? We're going to give her those uranium rods." And he's like, "What? Or at least we're going to make her think that we are."
Oh yeah.
But how do we get the message to Whitney Frost? And then he remembers, well, there's henchmen that were at the they're at Isodyne, or it was the Roxxon facility, I guess.
I just like to call they're basically the equivalent to Kingpin's Cabal.
Who?
Well, we have the Isodyne people, and then we have Masters. Just everyone in league with Frost.
Well, no, the Council of Nine's the Cabal.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. But I think we can lump Masters in there too.
I mean, he's a member of the council. Why don't we just say the council?
Okay, fair enough. The council.
Yeah, the council's the Cabal. Yes, I'm
a hard track keeping track of exactly who's in the council. So there.
Remember, 4 of them got killed off, so it's a lot simpler now.
Oh God. Okay, fair enough.
Okay, anyway. The important ones are Masters and Manfredi, okay? Those are the important ones. Let's just stick with those. Anyway, so they remembers, okay, well, this henchman, they worked for Joseph Manfredi, so maybe we go to him for communicating a message. Plus, he and the two of them were close, and as this is happening, Peggy Carr's changing clothes, and I love this, how intimate this scene is, and it's a reference to the first season too, where Daniel walked in on her.
Sure.
He was changing, and I love that he's turning away, but he's still facing her undergarments.
Oh boy! He's like, shit! I can't get away from this.
Anyway, so the big mention that they had a past relationship, but yeah, they were a couple before Chadwick until the Figaro Street massacre, which got a little violent, and then she went to Calvin Chadwick after that. I know Figaro, right? Right?
What?
Figaro.
What about Figaro?
I'm just saying Pinocchio.
Okay, but yeah.
I was thinking of your Figaro Street. I know it's an actual street, but Figaro Street. It's kind of funny.
I named my when I got my base. I named my base Figaro, actually.
Right.
Anyways,
and so that's the explanation to those two have a relationship, and now it seems like they might have been back together. They've gotten back together, and says, how could she? She splits which Calvin Chadwick, and now they're back together, and Susan's saying, "Oh, man in love."
Pretty much.
He can identify. Now, I believe this place is pronounced Polizzi's. or Palazzi's, something.
Palazzi's, I don't know.
Well, it's pointed-
Palazzi, potato, tomato.
Okay, so we're at an Italian restaurant essentially,
Yeah.
and we see our Maggia members. And again, we got a full Maggia episode here, which I'm very happy with because I was looking forward to these guys, and they're here! Yay! So the Maggia, they're playing cards in this abandoned. I just love this setting. It feels so classic mob. It's like,
Totally.
It's an abandoned Italian restaurant. It's probably open for the date, and I was like, "Hey, get out of here! We're doing stuff." Seuss's. I love Seuss's dialogue throughout the scene. He's just saying, "Yeah, we want to mention some spaghetti. We always serve steak here."
And then in the background, we see Manfredi just making spaghetti.
Yep, and Peg wants to speak to the chef because she can see him in full view there. We see Manfredi is cooking for his mother, Nani, and now Nani is Italian for mother, by the way.
Oh dear. This scene is fucking priceless.
So she's called Nani Manfredi, but as you see, it means like mom Manfredi. Great timing, by the way, of the sequence that's about.
This might be my favorite scene of the whole season, or among my favorite scenes of the season.
It is one of the best.
Stand out.
I tell you, the best moment of the whole season is the next episode, though. So you'll have to
Okay.
So we have this opera music playing. It's like classic Italian opera music playing while Manfredi's arguing with his mother about. See, in case you didn't pick up on the specificities, here's what's going on. While we have really awesome action going on silently in the background, again, awesomely framed shot, by the way. Just this scene unfolding while this little rectangle in the background has Sousa and Peggy Carter like taking names as they're beating up these guys.
Right.
Just really like an awesome action sequence is going on, like the end of towards the end of last season when they're being pursued by SSR agents, pretty much. He's arguing with her, saying he's changing the recipe a little bit. Well, I thought I'd try something different. She's like, no, she won't have any of it. It's like sacrilege to her. So he's like grabbing her cheeks. He's saying, nothing makes you happy. That's it. She's like, yeah, my mom.
Oh God.
So as you can tell, I still seriously love Manfredi in this show.
Manfredi. Right? This was definitely Manfredi's standout episode for sure.
Oh my! I am so I'm so pleased with this Manfredi. I would never imagine they would have taken such an obscure character and made him this cool.
I think he's a character whose relationship with his mother, freaking oh God, what's the Gotham guy? Shit.
Penguin?
No, not Penguin. The other one.
The Gilzine?
Oh, I'm embarrassed now. Angel Batista.
You mean Sal Maroni?
Yes, I mean Maroni. Yes, he's the kind of Maroni always preached about Italians and mothers and whatever. Anyways, moving on from that wonder.
You really are off your game this episode. I won't make that clear to the folks.
Off my game. Yes. Thank you for pointing that out once again.
Anyways. I think it's been very apparent to the folks at home. Let's move on.
Thanks. Oh man, that is doing so much for my confidence.
Well, you've acknowledged it. You know this. It's not a surprise.
No, it's not.
Okay, so don't worry about it. Okay, so then they realize as this one henchman is like slammed against the wall, he's like slammed against the glass. It slides down, and there's Peggy and Sousa in front. He says, "Oh, well, Ma, looks like we got 2 more for lunch." Again, Manfredi's so freaking cool.
Then we cut to London, England, and we have Thompson with. Have we ever met this character before?
No, he's just a British man.
Yeah, this scene kind of caught me off guard a little bit. I'm like, wait, what's going on here?
Well, I tried looking up the guy's name. It's like it's still a little unclear. The guy's exactly, but point is just a British, SSR affiliate. He's an SSR member or he's like an SSR affiliate. Like they work together. So there is a past history that's implied. Like he knows this guy.
Sure.
Okay, let's see. So basically, they're drunk as skunks singing the anthems in the street. And like, how did you break your hand? He says, would you believe knocking out a high-level Russian operative and Dottie Underwood when he punched her and knocked her out? So that's how he broke his hand. So again, Dottie doesn't go down without leaving a mark. I love that. Says, basically, he's his MI5 drinking pal. That's who this guy is. His MI5 drinking pal. Let's see. He gives Thompson a file. They're kind of meandering around, saying, "Oh, I know why you're trying to beat my drinking record, aren't you?" Says, "Oh, you know me like a book." And he gives Thompson a file on Peggy Carter, and he uses a lighting device to kind of like a light X-ray sort of thing to look past the blacked out parts of any secret government report. And he sees that Peggy Carr. We don't see all the details, but we just see words massacre. And we see Peggy Carr, so she's involved somehow in a massacre, kind of like the implied to be something like not the exact same thing, but kind of in the vein of something bad, like the whole it was the gas from the first season. You know what I mean? It's the stuff that Dr. Faustus was working on, the gas that Howard Stark developed that made people tear themselves apart. A massacre like that.
Yeah, I hear you.
Anyway, so Manfredi and his mother. This scene's fantastic.
Oh yeah, like I said, this is probably among my favorite scenes of the season for sure. Okay, so the mother lays down spaghetti. Manfredi's like, "Oh, he likes you, Sousa, but he thinks Peggy's the devil."
So I love that the mother
and
like
then
not
she just
looking.
swears in Italian and spits.
I just love it. Well, she gives him now. It's not exactly a swear word to you. That means a devil in Italian.
Oh, okay.
It's called. It was from All in the Family. They had an episode where they have the Italian neighbors where they Molochia. Molochia means like devil or like it's like it means evil eye. It's kind of what it means. It's like evil eye or like evil spirit or something like that.
Okay, fair enough.
Again, it's like she's the devil. It's, they say Italian mother's not like.
But I like the idea that she's kind of like mothering up to Sousa.
Exactly, that's adorable.
At least for now, that's going to turn very quickly. But for now,
it does, but it's very cool though. It's like, and here's what cracks me up. Rewatching, I didn't catch this until the second one. This cracked me up. So she brings the food in. He goes, "Oh, it's because she likes you. That's impressive." And she goes, "Peggy, she thinks you're the devil." They ask Manfredi to send the message, and Noni starts. Starts acting up a storm that, my mother, she's she's got a weak heart, she plays frail, and says, oh, she seemed fine a moment ago. She's obviously playing for us so they can leave. But I love this. He says, okay, now stop eating, go now. Basically, he takes the spaghetti away from Susan. And Susan hasn't even gotten a bite of the spaghetti yet. He's about to take a bite when they ask to send a message. He's like twirling it up in the Then the minute she gave him the spaghetti, she's then saying, oh, no, you're giving, you're wigging around. You get out of here. No food for you. Takes the food. He hasn't even gotten a bite in yet. Again, I love they have pleasantries, but it's still like temporary pleasantries, though. Seriously, those are some nice pleasantries. Though. Gave him a bowl of spaghetti.
Yeah, but then you take it away, so it's a little bit of a mixed message, just like Nick Ford.
Yeah, but I mean, there was offered though, and again, had things not gone south, he would have been able to enjoy that.
Oh God.
Anyway, so then again, Sousa. I love the way Sousa plays the. Again, I'm loving Sousa so much. Just when he has this great dialogue, and I think Sousa genuinely. I'm not saying we need this. I'm just saying I think he could carry his own show. Honestly.
We have way too many spin-offs to talk about, but yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, again, I said we don't need it. I'm just saying I think he has the chops that he could pull his own series.
Right.
Anyway, so he mentions that Tommy Fontana is getting out, an old associate of Manfredi's, and says, "Oh yeah, I'm baking him a welcome home cake." Now, do you think it's actually real, or do you think he's just saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna"?
I want to say that's real. I really want to say that's real.
See, he's kind of laughing while I sing it, but I think he's like, "Jamie, I'm proud. I'm making a cake for that guy."
Right.
Manfredi's like one of the best mafia guys we've ever had in one of these shows. By the way, he's so great. So Sousa issues a threat here, saying, well, what if I tell Fontana them and basically tell him that you turned state's evidence on him? Says, no, it didn't happen. Well, he doesn't know that. And then I love this in Nani here.
Oh yeah.
She tries to she's slowly, because she's a little old, bear in mind, but she's still at the fast as she can. She grabs a knife, and the man she just gives spaghetti. She grabs a large knife, and she's aiming to stab him, and like I love the delayed reaction. Like, what's she trying to do? Oh my God, she's getting close, trying to stab me. And you see, like Peg's about to get up to save him. Oh God, it's just, he's just slowly going to stab him, and Freddy stops. No. Okay, what message? Meanwhile, Frost and Wilkes are having a little conversation. I ask him what are your thoughts are. What are your thoughts on my notes here? Says, I think you're a mass murderer of rats. Basically, her research notes in which he had absorbed a series of lab rats.
He says he doesn't want to control it; he wants it gone. But this is where Frost just gets really fun. Like, come on, we can be science buddies. I see it as a gift, Like, oh, you're trying to destroy it because you resist it. I don't know.
Yeah, basically encourages him to accept his gift.
Yeah, just accept it. Just embrace it, man. Science bros.
Yeah. And basically listen to the voice; it will guide you. And then Manfredi enters, and he interrupts and says, "No, not now." Well, anyway, says he comes over. I need to talk to you for a second. She doesn't like brush him off like other people though. She actually listens to him, showing there's a respect, there's a care for Manfredi.
Right.
Says, "Okay, Dr. Wilkes, listen to me. Close your eyes. Embrace the voice." She goes off to the side there.
Focus. You need to focus.
Then she spins a little ring, her wedding ring with Calvin Chadwick. No.
Oh God. Oh God.
Seriously. She goes over to Manfredi and says, What is it? He says, first is, this is why I love Manfredi. Manfredi's like the coolest monster ever. In the Marvel Universe, again, this is like, I love that we get the criminal organizations get better as time progresses in the Marvel Universe because we get Kingpin down the line. But I love this, like, how we're getting in the meantime, though. Manfredi is just, he says, okay, first is first. First things first, and she kisses him. That's like the standard arrangement. I don't give you anything until you give me a kiss.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, it's not like because you're the woman. It's because I like it. Because and there's this bit too. After that happens, you have this really happy expression on his face, like, "Oh, I feel so happy now." Oh my God! I want again, Manfredi Sopranos. That's all I'm saying, Manfredi Sopranos.
I want Butch Gilzeem to be a character in that.
Yes, having cross company thing,
Oh God, oh God.
Anyway, so he mentions Peggy Carter wants to trade the uranium rods for the scientist. Tell her she has a deal. So meanwhile,
get the inside-out tissues, BlueDragonFive. Get the inside-out tissues.
Oh God, prepare for this, folks. Oh God, boy. It's heartbreaking. Like, oh my God, like it's when you think give the episode an Emmy. Give the episode an Emmy. Let James Darcy just bask in the room for an hour, but holding at me for 3 minutes.
So there's a security guard there, like, okay, Mr. Darcy, your time's up to hold it, but you can still bask in the room. I just have to take it back now.
It's Jonathan Banks, by the way. He's
God.
There's like a little red velvet thing he just holds open. Like when people come in, it's like, okay, make it quick.
Oh, God.
Aaron Paul's coming in to get some notes. Come back. You want what now? Okay, anyway. So back to this though, but seriously, joking aside, James Darcy delivers such a phenomenal performance here. It's just, we're not doing any justice. We're going to just try to walk you through how amazing it is. So he's sitting there. It's just like, it's such a realistic thing where people who are with coma victims, this is a real thing where people are in bad states, like kind of like a Mel Blanc thing, where like he was awoken through really miraculous circumstances, this sort of thing, where he's just, where Jarvis is saying, He's making constant promises to her, and the deep hoping. I love that this plays out because deep down he's just hoping that she's going to awake. It's not said, but I think deep down he's hoping that I'll make her all these promises, and hopefully she'll say the words I want her to say so badly, just to prove that she's awake. I think deep down that's what he's hoping for. So he's Jarvis going through the scene. He's saying all these things to get her to respond deep down, but he's just saying, I promise I'll wear the periwinkle tie. I promise not to make a noise when I bite the fork. I promise to get a Burmese mountain dog like you wanted. I promise to get the brown cardigan or a brown, I think it's a cardigan. Wear the brown cardigan and get the brown cardigan. Let's see, I promise to believe in the daily horoscope. And the last one here, Tiki, you there with me? Well, my associate composes himself. Then, of course, that really hits home with this one here. This one, oh boy. The last promise, and this is going to be very important, especially going into our next episode, especially. He says, I promise I will protect you to my dying day. Like, oh my God, just, it's such a heartfelt promise, and then you get the line there. It's like finally, she see the little finger twitching, and she awakens. And again, it's like deep down throughout the scene, you get a sense that he's saying all these promises. He does mean them with all of his heart, because he'll do anything to see her awake again. But I mean, just deep down, that he's just waiting to hear the thing he's heard from her all these years of don't make promises you can't keep. She finally says it, and it works. She says, don't make promises you can't keep. And Anna awakens, and it's so lovely. She mentions again, she's still the wonderful Anna Jarvis. You can imagine she's saying again. I love that she wakes up and she's not missing a beat. She still has that lovely, sweet comedy and sweetness to her, as she always does. In the midst of this dark circumstance, she is still the show and Jarvis's beam of light. It's so nice. She wakes up and says, "I woke up at the Bernese Mountain Dog," and she wanted to see what else she could get. Oh my God, it's so adorable.
Adorable moment. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank God, thank God.
Yes. then they kiss, and it's a sweet reunion.
I'm going to go get the doctor, but first, kiss. All right, now, doctor.
Yes, and then he calls. First of all, he calls Peggy. She's waiting on the doctor. He says, "Yes, she's awake, and everything's good. I'll tell you anything else that happens."
Mm-hmm.
Then he talks to the doctor. Oh boy, here we go, folks. It's like the saddest.
More inside out tissues. More inside out tissues.
When you think, how can James Darcy again? That seems proved.
Technically, like with this scene, I think it calls for specialty brand up tissues.
Yeah. Especially brand up tissues, absolutely.
Oh, God. Limited time only, folks.
From the same subsidiary, though, from the same Pete Doctor affiliated Pixar tissue company.
Oh, God.
Okay, regardless, seriously, this is where things get really sad, folks. You're thinking, how can you put Jarvis through the ringer? And you have to wonder on some level. Well, okay, she gets shot, and Whitney Frost had no intention to kill her. So you're thinking, okay, on some level, we know she's going to live. We don't know how well she's going to live, and then we know
that's the question.
We knew something was going to be wrong. We didn't know what. I was speculating perhaps she was going to lose a leg or something, but it's
I was speculating she was going to become paraplegic, and I'm actually really glad that didn't happen.
Yeah, something much worse happened, though.
Mm-hmm.
Much worse than anything we could imagine. This is so sad.
Oh, yeah.
So Jarvis has the news broken to him that yes, surgery. We did everything we could to ensure that she survived, which she did. But her injuries were severe, and we lost her a few times, and she came back. But there was a cost. There was a complication. We almost lost her several times, and there was some irreparable damage. And that irreparable damage is she can't have children.
Oh boy.
It's more horrifying about the way the doctor, it's a real world thing, the way the doctor breaks the news to him saying, "I don't know if you and your wife ever intend on having children, but."
Right.
Now that's an impossibility. And oh my God, the James Darcy.
Yeah.
Just let him hold the Emmy. Yes, I can hear you.
Oh boy.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yo. Anyway, I'm going to press on. So, but seriously, it's the moment here with the reaction on James Darcy's face, where he's just taking in this huge gut punch of news of just let him hold the. I'm gonna give him 2 extra minutes. Just give him 5 minutes with the Emmy. I swear to God, give him 5 minutes with the Emmys. It's so heartbreaking. And praise the writers. The writers did such a fantastic job with this episode too, because this episode is just so well constructed. You have moments like this coming through, where it's such a great dramatic punch for a show. It came out of left field, came out of nowhere. We're thinking missing a leg or in a wheelchair, but it's so much worse than the idea that Jarvis, our beloved character, we want nothing but good things for Jarvis. We know how much he loves his wife, and the idea that Jarvis will never have a child. That's a hard thing to go through in life, folks. Of knowing that if you want kids, you can never have your kids. Even adoption is always an option, but still the idea you can never have the symbol of a union between you and your wife is always a little bit of sadness associated with that. Oh boy, it's a gut punch. Hello. Okay. So seriously, just fantastic scene just comes out of left field, and again you see it gets much sadder, folks, when the doctor then mentions that she doesn't know yet. That he can have a nurse break it to her, and then Jarvis says, "I'll tell her myself." And Jarvis is making a really big decision in that moment. We're going to find out what that is, and we see that she sees Jarvis getting the news. So I think there is a question of how much she figures out at this point. Does she know? Does she not know? We're gonna see how that pans out soon. Well, not soon, but broad strokes soon. Okay, next episode. We're going to find out next episode. You'll see how it goes, folks. It's going to be amazing. Well, now he's gone. I can say that sort of thing to you nice people. But as he's on his way back, I'm going to keep going through here. But we see that Jarvis, he enters the room. He does not tell her. The big earth-shattering news of, we can't have children. We cannot have our own children. But he kind of off balances that with some humor to kind of completely distract her from that fact, much like he did in the opening where he was trying to distract her with something like Benny Goodman. Again, it's kind of that sad yet hopeful thing in their relationship. When they have bad news, they distract with other happy things. And Jarvis here says, "Oh, the doctor was just telling me of the laundry list of prescriptions we're going to have to get to get you well. It's going to require grocery bags." Was it?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Jesus Christ, I don't know what's happening. Let's just get through this as quickly as we can.
So anyway, so
Oh
Jarvis
man, my
says,
avatar is not even showing up.
I can see it. Yes.
Oh, you can see it?
Yes.
Okay, for me it's just a black screen and it's very disconcerting. Anyways, I'm gonna not pay attention to that.
So we're at the prescription grocery bag full of prescriptions.
So the only thing sadder than Jarvis freaking finding out about all this is having to lie about it.
Absolutely. You understand why he's not telling her.
Oh yeah, totally. But at the same time, it's like, oh man, it's a gut punch.
The woman just came back to the land of the living. You know, you don't want to give her that big booming news right off the bat. But still, she does deserve to know, absolutely. But
I actually think it's kind of inappropriate. Like maybe the doctor could have waited a few hours. I don't know.
Well, you know, he's wondering. He's asking if she can leave yet. So there might be some follow up, perhaps.
I guess that's true.
If she does leave, he needs to inform him at some point, just to make sure he gets the information if he chooses to leave or not. Regardless.
Oh God! And then the thing that really seals it is she's like, you know, he's like, oh, is there anything else? And then Jarvis is like, no, you're perfect.
And again, such a sad yet romantic line. You know, it's like you're perfect.
Totally.
You know, no matter what happens, you're perfect. But you know, I think kind of there's a sad yet hopeful message in all of this, Tiki. The sad idea for any characters in fiction, or anyone really, just the idea that the real world problem, people can't have children like that. When situations like this occur. The fact you'll never have children of your own making. There's the option is always an option, but you'll never have that little symbol of your union as a couple.
Right.
But on the bright spot though, with Jarvis' story, where that ultimately leads up, is that in many ways Tony Stark becomes his surrogate child.
Yeah, I can see that. I can totally see that.
In a way, because there is time. Bear in mind, there is time before.
Are we going to eventually see little Tony on the show, like season 5?
Well, I'm saying if they do like a time jump, there is a possibility we could see young Tony Stark. Okay. The idea is like Tony Stark. Again, we don't see it in the movies, but like some of the additional stuff, it's always mentioned that Jarvis was an actual butler. He was like Alfred for a while. And he pretty much raised Tony Stark. So, he had a fondness for Jarvis. That's why he named the AI.
Yeah, and of course the whole idea of Jarvis being an AI didn't come about until the MCU, right?
Oh, well, yeah, I believe it's the MCU. Yeah, right,
yeah.
There might have been other names for it, but it wasn't Jarvis.
Sure.
But you see what I mean, though. It's just the idea. There was a kind of a happy note that he cared so much about Jarvis that he named. It's like the son becomes the father, the father becomes the son. Seriously, it is like that because he raised him, and now he still is keeping Jarvis around. He created Jarvis in a way, and then of course you have the Vision thing to factor in.
Of course.
It's like this weird kind of rebirth cycle,
Oh God.
Dead, reborn. But seriously, it's a sweet thing. It's a sweet thing that they don't have a child, but down the line Jarvis is going to be responsible for Iron Man in many ways, and Jarvis is going to keep living through because of that child he did have a part in making.
Mm-hmm.
So Dr. Sambly builds fake uranium rods that check out, so that when they do the check, it's like, okay, we're going to be good here. We're not going to no signs of a double cross. We get the first name, the Alowish Bear says, "Oh, nice job, Alowish. Oh, you know my first name. What about my middle name?" Sambly, why are you always looking for...
what is with you? We take you on missions. We treat you with respect. Come on, man.
You're always looking for reasons to get offended. No one knows anyone's middle name, and then Peg says, she does. It's Herbert. Thanks for the help, Peg. Thanks for the help.
Okay.
So Samberly puts the containment field in the truck while he's doing that. Jarvis stops by to get a cashmere throw. Sorry, what is like a cashmere throw?
That's something.
Yeah, right. He says, "What are you doing here?" He says, "We're getting Wilkes, then we're getting Frost." And then, oh my God, this is, again, James Darcy's, this is his perfect episode. This is his Emmy episode. Seriously, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Where he the way he like now he's clean cut. He's a little more clean cut. He's in the suit and everything. He's just saying how. He's like all serious. He's all business. Because now again, so brilliantly the way this episode's constructed, I can't praise the episode structure enough, Tiki. I really can't. Is that the way it's structured? That we have that great opening, but we see Jarvis in many states here, and now we the audience know something every other character does not. We know what he's going through and why he is like so direct and down business. It's not just like on principle that she shot my wife. She killed my future children, essentially.
Definitely.
She ruined my life, and she ruined the future I was going to have with my wife, and for that she must die.
I am a great deal interested indeed. Whitney Frost shot my wife. I will be there to see her pay.
Oh my god, I love James Darcy. And Peg saying, she will be dealt with. George says, I will be there. I will be there for it. And oh my gosh, you understand again. We understand completely why Jarvis is feeling this way, but no one else does. He hasn't broken the news yet, and it's that great kind of little mystery with amongst everyone. Like, man, we understand he's upset, but we don't. Let's just say it's building to a great thing for the next episode. Okay. Meanwhile, let's see. Howard sends, he telegraphs blueprints and specifications for a machine. Samberly deciphers this, and yes, it's not a code. It's blueprints. It's specs, and it's the only thing I can build. Says, you say, well, who else can build it? I mean, he wants me to build this. A gamma pulse cannon. Of course, the minute we hear gamma, we're thinking,
oh, of course, our ears perk up. It's like, oh.
And the fact that all this gamma related stuff is set in the desert is really a great throwback to the Incredible Hulk comics.
Yes. It's also a throwback to something else that I'll say when we get to that scene. But anyway,
seriously, the gamma pulse cannon. You my gadget love. I thought that was so cool. Like, that's how you stop zero matter gamma. Because a lot of times in Marvel, a gamma pulse will be able to kind of solve kind of like usually sometimes like an alien invasion will be kind of stopped by a weaken the hull of an alien ship or stuff like that. Point is, gamma radiation is kind of like is a cure-all at times in the Marvel universe for kind of big problems, and it makes sense for this case. Even gamma radiation would be something to combat. The only earthly thing that could combat something like this, something extraterrestrial like this.
Sure.
Can it save Wilkes or kill Whitney Frost? Jarvis says, and Sam really doesn't know, but he can build it. He can build it, but he doesn't know how much time it's going to take. So Jarvis volunteers.
And poor Samberly on his lack of knowledge of the machine that he just found out about.
Absolutely, you understand why Samberly's just kind of flying by the seat of his pants.
He just takes like the brunt of the punishment this episode. You feel so bad for him.
He does. Yeah, we got more Samberly stuff, which I'm very pleased with. I wanted more of that. We got that. So Jarvis volunteers to be the driver. Then Thompson drops by and says,
"Well, it's Larry, Curly, and no. Could you give me a moment? I need to have a word with Mo."
Three Stooges reference.
Hey, I get that reference.
I understood that reference. So he tries blackmailing Peg to come back to New York because now he has that file that he was given in London. And he says, "Oh, Vernon Masters put you up to this, didn't he?"
I love how Peggy just sees right through this right away. It's so obvious that this is like just a plant from Masters.
Chief Thompson, did you ever consider the convenience of all this? It says, the idea that the documents could be false, just for convenience's sake, like all of a sudden then you get these documents when Vernon Masters tells you to.
And it does get Thompson thinking.
And again, Peg just kind of brings home the message here. I love it. Thompson, he's playing the odds, and we're gonna see that definitely this episode, next episode. You don't know quite what he's going for, and he's just he's been weighing his options this whole season. Like, should I side with the bad guys? Should I side with the good guys? You know what I mean? I'm looking for what's beneficial to me, and in many ways, he is like Vernon Masters because of that. He's playing the odds, and Peg is just kind of Thompson's not a bad guy. He's just looking for an opportunity here, and Peg just points out the obvious fact he's overlooked here, saying, "Look, Chief Thompson, you don't need to cut corners to get ahead. You're better than that," which is a good line.
That's a great line, yeah, and it really calls back to their dynamic in season 1.
Absolutely. So, Manfredi and Frost.
Oh god.
Now this scene,
this is like a genuinely sweet scene. I think
it is. This is why I love Manfredi so much. Manfredi and Jarvis were
it's
just
like he's a comical Italian stereotype, but at the same time, he's a charmer.
Seriously, I mean, Manfredi and Jarvis were just so on the money this episode. They were so great.
Totally.
So Manfredi and Frost have this really sweet scene. I think it just says so much and why they're a perfect match. I mean, Calvin Chadwick and Frost had a thing going on. It was much different than this.
That was much more like a mother-son dynamic in a weird way.
Well, I think less mother-son, more kind of like friends. But this one's definitely kind of a romantic thing of like, these two people belong together. We're
Chadwick was like the fat friend on the playground, and then she wants Wilkes as her science buddy, but this is the one she really wants to go after romantically.
Yeah. So anyway, Frost asked Joe to stop, Joe Manfredi to stop the gorgeous comments. He's like, "Oh, hey, gorgeous, hey, beautiful, how's it going?" And he says, "Will you stop with that? I know how I look." And she's wearing a scarf, by the way, to cover up the scarf.
It's turning more and more into a mask. It's like covering it up almost all of her face.
Yep. And he expresses to her that he says, "No, I love how seriously he kind of grabs her by the shoulders, which is very dangerous, Whitney Frost. You don't want to startle her or anything else. You could just vanish in the goop."
Right.
No, but seriously, like he grabs. They look at me, and again, I love that. We've seen how intense Manfredi can get. By the way, in that restaurant, we've beaten the man to death for just saying Whitney Frost looks beautiful. So he says, "No, I mean it." He expresses to her that the mark is power, and has nothing to be ashamed of, and to me, that's beautiful.
Oh yeah, you should never have to hide it.
It was really sweet, and before they were about to kind of go in for the big romantic kiss like in the movies. I love this, though. He's such a charming guy. He says, "Rain check." He wants that kiss, though. Rain check.
Right.
So the deal goes down. Frost says she wishes Peg would be on her side. Two accomplished women should be working together for a thing like this.
And she just shoots Frost down.
Hey, you're a staunch defender of sisterhood. You shot an unarmed woman. Again, she's still really peeved about Anna, as we all are.
Bitch, please.
Well, essentially. Let's see. Then Frost answers with, sacrifices must be made.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if the uranium rods check out, Jarvis is very antsy because he sees her. She's so close with you, Frost. She's so close. Dad. There's 2 minutes to go. Frost, as they're handing over Wilkes, I love this on the rewatches, holds up a lot better. By the way, just where she says to Wilkes as he's passing, 2 minutes until you disappear, and then you have to go in your little cage. And that way, she's signaling to him, you have 2 minutes to do whatever you're going to do.
Very true. Yeah.
So while that's going on, we see that Now, I'm not saying this is a nitpick. I mean, in the way it works is a question of if it's intentional or not. But I got to tell you, there's this one clumsy guy. He drops their uranium rods. Again, had those been real uranium rods, there's a good chance they could have been dead. I just want to make that clear. That guy should be fired or beaten. Seriously, fire that guy or shoot him. Because seriously, the guy could have had them all. Again, if it was unintentional, again, I don't know if it was all part of the plan of this guy drops uranium rods, and I have a sense they're going to be fake, and then we're going to get Wilkes to tell us where the real uranium rods are. I don't know if that was the plan because they plays even if that's not the plan.
Right.
If it's not the plan, that guy was just really clumsy, and he should be definitely fired.
Or fired upon.
Yep. Or fired upon.
Mm-hmm.
So they realize it's a trick. Stop him! Bang, bang, bang! Because they don't really shoot at the tires or anything. They're shooting at the thing, which suggests maybe they want him to get away.
Mm-hmm.
So they're being followed by a caddy. Wilkes is asking about, how are we going to stop her now? And now it's sorry, Mr. Anthony. Wilkes is asking, how are we going to stop her? She mentions, we have a gamma cannon. And we realize, the car's moving really slow. It should be able to pass us by now.
Oh, yeah.
Wilkes then goes for the shotgun after he learns of, they have the uranium rods and they have a plan to stop her and they have this gamma cannon. So now he needs to know where exactly those uranium rods are. He's pulling the shotgun at Peggy Carter. And, Seuss is like, he's defenseless to help. He can't really pull his own gun, or else it'll just shoot him.
Mm-hmm.
She refuses to tell him, look, this is just the zero matter affecting your mind. No, it's not. Just tell me where the uranium rods are, Peg. I'm not joking. She refuses. You're just going to have to shoot me.
And then I love how he instantly goes to Sousa and just Sousa, tell me, I know how you feel about her.
All that perceptive Wilkes is when it comes down to it. Yeah, I know you like her. I'm not an idiot. He plays on, again, strategically, he plays on Sousa's emotion.
Totally, totally.
Then Sousa, of course, pegs his blind spot. They're at the SSR lab. Daniel! They're behind the safe, beyond the periodic table.
And then Wilkes just pulls an awesome move and just like jumps through the truck.
Not as cool as jumping off an overpass and then into a series of escalades, but still pretty cool.
Well, come on! I mean, that's some steep competition right there.
It is. I'm saying I was really impressed by this. So I love how cool it was when he just phased out of the back of the car and he escaped in the caddy. That was a really great heist. I just want to equate it to something. It's like that's also a cool entrance / exit into a vehicle.
Right. Okay.
Okay, let's see. So then they realize, oh no, it was all part of a plan. Darn you, Wilkes! Darn you to heck!
So what do you think at this point? Is Wilkes an antagonist?
Well, I mean, I know.
Yeah, I can't really speculate on stuff like that with you. So okay, never mind.
Okay, let's see. So let's see what's going on here. So driven. Okay, so Wilkes drives away. Masters, meanwhile.
Oh boy.
He's praising Thompson with the file, and Thompson's questioning the validity, and Vernon's just making a very astute observation for the time of like, well, it doesn't matter if it's true, it's true regardless of what it's a legal document that says something. So whether it's true or not, I mean, it's true to everyone else, but that's what they think it's true.
Stephen Avery would know all about that.
I'm not. I'm thinking more McCarthyism with that, Teague.
No. I know it's not a direct reference to making a murderer. I'm just saying that line itself did remind me of the Stephen Avery situation.
Okay. Anyway, so it's basically it's true regardless of anyone of what is true. So Frost calls about the rods. Basically now instructing Vermaster, well, you're right in the place. Just get the rods for me, would you? Thompson is excused. Well, give me a minute, Jack. What do you say? Give me a minute. He's on the phone, and then Thompson's listening in, and he hears the whole thing. And he stops Vernon as he's he's going behind the periodic table, he's about to open the safe, and Thompson says, "I can't allow you to do that." And, Vernon's trying to manipulate the situation. Oh, Jack, I'm glad you caught me doing this. And he says, "No, just stop it."
I love how manipulative he's trying to be. He's like, "Oh, looks like someone's ready for a promotion."
Yeah, but then he's just saying, "Sorry, I'm sorry to hear that." He means that too, because he does like Jack Thompson.
I think in a way he views Jack Thompson as kind of a son figure to him in a way.
Well, I mean, according to Thompson, he's kind of like a second father to him.
Right.
Okay, let's see. So then Peg and Sousa find Thompson's in the lab. He's just kind of dazed, and we realize, the minute he was dazed, I figured this is what they were going to do.
Amnesia!
The memory inhibitor.
I know that phase.
See, what happened was Thompson, then a second passes, agent, and he's just zapped into an amnesiac state. Anyway, they basically deduce, okay, he was zapped. Hey, Chief Thompson, what were you doing a moment ago? They go to his desk and they find map coordinates, basically knowing where Whitney Frost wanted the uranium robs transported to. Okay, let's see. So we see there are some trust issues with Thompson as they're gearing up to go out on the mission to kind of stop Whitney Frost. Well, now he wants in on it. And Thompson points out, look, you have no backup. You kind of need me. Yeah, it's hard to refuse, and it's still really equally hard to trust him because he was going to sell Peg up the river.
Sure.
Do you understand why they're really hesitant to trust him? So,
and then speaking of trust,
yes, Wilkes is. Sousa points out, Wilkes is now not less of a hostage, more of a hostile, and he's desperate. So and believe me, I can understand what that means. What I would give the walk again properly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a very good call on Sousa's part, and he knows the feelings that Peggy has for him. So
my point is, we're gonna have to make some hard choices, and then he's kind of being a little hypocritical there because he didn't make the hard choice when the moment called for. I love that she called him on that, by the way, as she's showing how smart the show is. Saying, look, you would have.
What's full advice, Chief? I hope you abide by it.
On Arrow, they would have just let that fly. Of like, okay, well, it's fine.
Oh,
now
I'm
because
sure
this
they
character
would've.
says, believe me, they would. But Arrow did.
Right,
Arrow
right.
pulled something really stupid recently. I just want to make that.
Oh,
They
God.
pulled something really dumb recently, and I'm really peeved about it because I've been liking elements of this season. That was really stupid.
How was season 3, BlueDragonFive? Tell me how season 3 was.
I don't want to. It was stylized. It was stylistically kind of cool. I mean, we got stuff from the comics, but then
You got Ra's al Ghul in season 3 at least.
we got cool stuff introduced, but
All right, fair enough. Let's not go into Arrow.
in the end, really. Anyway,
wow. Okay.
so Tom, so basically says, wait. So you're saying you wouldn't have if the situation was reversed? Tom, Sousa's saying if the situation was reversed, you would have let him shoot me.
Mm-hmm.
They've reached an impasse there, which is fair. And then Tom says, well, if it makes any of you feel better, I would shoot you both.
If it makes a difference, I would have blown you both away.
So meanwhile, so Rose and Sam are having a scene together, and she's questioning if the cannon's going to kill or fix Whitney Frost. Well, which answer would you like would make me sound more attractive?
When he tries to get all serious, he's like, "Look, Rose, this is a very dangerous mission. I might not return." And then he like puts his arm on her, and she's like, "Yeah, you'll be fine."
It's part of me would like to see Rose and Sam really get together.
I would too.
Anyway, so Rose, Jarvis stops by. He wants to have a moment with Rose.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked Rose to look after. I love this. Rose was absent when the Jarvis's wife was shot, and she says, "I heard what happened. I'm so sorry." And I love the connection. They only had a connection during the bomb defusal episode, really, but I just love how great this great scene together. Really, just kind of
definitely.
You're saying, I'm so sorry, and then he asked her to look after Anna while he's gone, and he gives her some specific instructions, like here's her favorite recipes, or here's her cashmere blanket, here's her mug from our first wedding anniversary or something, and then he gives her a letter and says, Mr. Jarvis, so how long are we talking here? And basically, when he gives her the letter, then she realizes,
oh.
And then she says, "I promise."
Oh yeah. And again, I love the way that promises are kind of like the core theme of this episode. I think that's really strong writing.
And you remember the last promise he made to Anna, that he would do anything to protect her, even if it killed him.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'd just say because of Iron Man, the way things go, I don't think it's a stretch to say Jarvis does not die in this season. I'm not spoiling anything with that, am I?
No, you're not.
So I think we know Jarvis is going to make it out okay, but things do get really harrowing for him, though. He does reach an end very, very closely.
Okay, so this is actually, I want to say this is very close to the location where they shot the famous "What's in the Box" scene from 7. Oh
God!
Because it's right on the outskirts of LA.
Right, but anyway, so before we go further, I just want to mention I love the act of the whole I promise I'll look after. We get this really dramatic, going off to war, but now we're in our big dramatic third act. It's awesome, It's like again, I just love Jarvis is carrying this third act so much because we know what Jarvis has been through.
Totally.
Rooting for him. I'm not alone in that. We know Whitney Frost is not going to die. We're rooting for him to kill her though. And then I just love this the dramatic going off to war thing, and Rose that brave man.
You're right.
No, but seriously, it's buying that drama, though. It's like, yes, that's absolutely right. I mean, you were rooting for him, and poor Jarvis, and we don't know what that letter was. We have a suspicion what it is, though.
Mm-hmm. So meanwhile, in the finale of 7.
So Peggy and Jarvis are driving, paying off that whole silence in the car thing, and she's like, "Mr. Jarvis, you okay?" "I'm fine." Again, he's really serious. Now this scene going forward, Jarvis is he's not playing games at all. No prissy British butler, no C-3PO in the 40s. He's all business. He's all, "I'm fine." And there's a lot of worry in the air with Peggy Carter. So we see our villains are getting ready, and says, "Are we good? Are we ready?" He says, Yep, we're all ready. Get ready for the fireworks." And this man Freddy has this hilarious bit where he says, "Oh, the fireworks. Oh, I mean, I'm sorry." He says, "I like fireworks. Well, fire, really." And then just Vernon Masters gives this hysterical look to him, like Kurtwood Smith. just gives this hysterical reaction where he has these sunglasses on, but he still just communicates so well. Where Manfredi just gives like, yeah, he's so happy-go-lucky, saying, it's such an honest reading. That's what it is. Oh, I like fireworks. Well, mostly fire. We pan over to Kurtwood Smith. He gives him this look, like raises an eyebrow, like, this guy is beyond comprehension. This guy he's not an idiot, because I wouldn't dare say that to him, but I'm just giving him a look of like, this guy. Wow. So, Wilkes has doubts.
Hello?
Hello? Yo. Hey!
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, thank God. Let's continue.
So after Kurtwood Smith gives a hilarious look to the Manfredi, Wilkes has doubts and regret of like all the actions he's done. Well, now I've burned all my bridges now, so I have nothing left if this doesn't work. He says, this could basically Whitney Frost saying, this will work. This absolutely will work. Because of and this line's hilarious. It's showing how crazy she is at the same time. It's like, this will work because, and you know why? Because the whisper in our head says it.
Right.
The whisper in our head says it will.
That is actually a reflection of how crazy she is. Absolutely.
Again, that's her. She says that with the seriousness too, which is hilarious. So anyway, so then the bomb detonates, and our heroes are too like the zero matter. I love we have like a zero matter scar shaped riff.
Oh yeah.
In the sky when it opens up, and this big old kind of eclipse looking ball happens. We see Frost and Wilkes drive up, and this is the voice chooses Wilkes and not Whitney Frost. Like, wait, what are you doing, Jason? What are you doing? As it lifts him up, I don't know if he's using this power to lift up or if it's lifting him up. So
I think I want to say it's maybe like it's lifting him up, but he's kind of like going along with it.
You gotta remember, he's kind of, because he absorbs so much of the zero matter. I think the strategy behind that, like the reasoning behind that, is that. Because he basically died, he became one with the zero matter. That's why he's intangible. He's still.
That's how I read it. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's why he was chosen over Whitney. Because Whitney's just absorbed a lot of it. She's still alive, really.
And then Frost just starts absolutely freaking out at this point.
Supposed to be me. Take me.
It's supposed to be me. What about me?
Yeah, it's like close to a Norma Bates moment.
Oh God.
Jason!
God. Okay, so Samberly, he's being vague.
He sets up the gamma pulse weapons. He's very uncertain about things, which makes all the sense in the world. I love this back and forth though. Like Samberly being say, "The thing is gonna work, maybe. I don't know." Thompson
I don't know, maybe.
I love this is Thompson's first interaction with Samberly, which makes this line all the more hilarious. Is asking periodically, well, first of all, who is this guy? Then he's asking Sousa, did you hire him? And then Sousa's saying, unfortunately.
And then Samberly's just a little pissed off. He's like, look, this is something that I didn't even know existed, and we're firing at something that I didn't know existed. Give me a break here.
Yeah, you're asking me to basically you're asking me to tell you what will happen with something I've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Which it makes all the sense in the world. We sympathize with Samberly, which I love this guy. He's like he's the pragmatic guy in the room. It's like, well, I don't know how this stuff works. I just built it.
Totally.
So let's see. So Jarvis is concerned about Whitney Frost not getting what she deserves, and he says, "Well, Samberly doesn't even know if this thing will work. He doesn't even know if this thing will work." And we have one shot, which does not help the situation at all. We have one shot. Wait, what? What is? I love Sousa's reaction. Sousa and Samberly and Thompson just should have a sitcom where they're sharing an apartment or something.
Maybe like just a buddy cop sitcom.
I mean, I know I've said this with Gotham, with our main characters on that show, but seriously, these guys could also pull that off. Just like kind of a sitcom, they're sharing an apartment or something. Like an Odd Couple style show. Just letting the three of these guys annoying each other. Anyway. Okay, but back to the point. What was I getting at here? Basically one shot. Just the Sousa reaction. What? You didn't mention this earlier? Yeah, I had just enough time for doing it one at a time. There's only shoot one round at a time. We only have one right now on hand. So Jarvis goes after Frost. Okay, that's it. He's driving off, and the Peg goes after to make sure he doesn't kill him. So just fire.
You shoot the thing, for God's sakes, and I'll try and prevent Edwin from killing himself.
Yep. And then we have this hilarious bit. This bit just again proves the sitcom premise, really.
Oh yeah.
Chief, what do we do? Says, do what Peggy says. Do as Peggy says. Just again, both of them know this to be true, whether Thompson admits it or not. Now, they like a bomb's about to go off. The bomb's already gone off. They gotta save the day. Just do what she says.
Of course.
And then we have, like, again, I think there's some really subtle, really clever Captain America references this episode and the next one, where she's on the radio here just trying to contact Jarvis, and he's not answering.
I kind of picked up on that as well. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that.
I think on some level it's kind of some PTSD deep down.
Sure.
Like, oh no, another person I care about not answering on the radio. It's not good. I'm not saying it's throwing her off. I'm just saying, it's something to consider. So as they line up the shot, as they're lining up the shot, just saying, look, okay, Samberly, I got it. And this thing, Thompson saying to Sousa, I didn't know your unit was in artillery. He says, they weren't. Again, I'm loving these three guys together. So they are the Three Stooges. It's hilarious. They are the perfect Three Stooges. And then I love the Sousa, Samberly point out, safety first, putting on the goggles and the sunglasses and everything.
And he puts on the goggles and he's trying to look all Joe Chill when he does it.
So it works, and they close the riff, thankfully. Frost finds that Wilkes has absorbed the zero matter, like his skin's crawling like little things underneath. And he's alive. Well, they're waiting to see if he's going to wake up, if he's alive. Anyway, so then, oh boy, here we go, folks. Oh my God, just big moment here. Before a big ending happens, Anna awakens and finds the blanket on her, and Rose keeping her company. And she says, Rose is going to keep her company until she comes back. And I heard you like to play hangman, so let's go. You go first.
I love how Rose acts in this scene. It's like she's on the verge of tears, and yet she's trying like her very best to be supportive for Anna, to be all engaged in the hangman game.
Now, it's clever here is they do kind of play with how much Anna knows, because there was a little hint that she may or may not kind of maybe deduce some stuff in the first half, and now here like there's a reflection. Now we the audience, the way it's shot, we don't see the reflection, but she it looks a little bit above there, and she can see a little mirror. She's either smiling at the bag or looking at the note that we finally is revealed to be Jarvis's last will and testament. So we don't know if she sees that or not.
Oh yeah, very big deal. Very big deal.
Oh my God, the last one testament. So we know at this moment, so well played, it's so well structured to get right before the big moment happens. We know how far Jarvis is willing to go to avenge Anna.
Sure.
Of course, we know from the first season how the lengths he had a dishonorable discharge just to save her. So anyway, so Jarvis then goes on a very sacrificial mission. He does something really crazy, and I love it.
He straight up pretty much murders Frost if it would have worked.
And I love that it's kind of still classy though. It's not just like in the old, it's old West style. Like you can't shoot a man with their back turned. Says Miss Frost. She turns around, bang bang.
Right.
Oh my God, the way that plays, it's so awesome. Seeing Jarvis just shoot the bad guy. Yeah, and he pulls an Alfred. Alfred, then in some comics, has been able to shoot the bad guys.
Sure.
But we see Wilkes is breathing as Peggy Carter. No! And she walks over and says, okay, Wilkes is breathing. And then Jarvis says, oh, problem, so is she.
Oh, boy.
Then we see Manfredi is mad. This got me concerned. I forgot. It's like you forget about him just long enough. Am I right? It's like, oh, boy, Manfredi is really mad. But Frost saves him at the last minute. She wakes up in the bullet hole heels. Wait. And basically he's like, Manfredi says plug him. The minute he said plug him, I was like, oh my God. She says, no. She says, look, the only way to control him is by controlling them. We need them. And then they get knocked out brutally. Bang, bang. Yeah. He was like knocked on the back of the heads, knocked out, and that's where the episode ends. Boom. Big episode. Wow. Seriously, start to finish, fantastic episode. I love this so much.
Okay, so I'm not going to play the Guess Who game. Would you say this is the best episode of the season thus far?
It debatably is. I mean, it's the other ones might have been a little lighter, but this one, in terms of the drama, this one was definitely one of my favorites.
I would say it's a very close call for me between this and is episode 4 the one that had the 2 flashbacks with Peggy and Whitney?
Yeah. I
think that one was definitely a very good. I think this has to take the cake though, because it's just got such high stakes involved. Jarvis is unlike anything we've ever seen. I love the supernatural elements. I love all the callbacks. The whole callback with the gamma rays.
You know what? I'm gonna make it official. Yeah, this one for this season is my favorite. But then again, the best moment is in the next episode, and we haven't seen 10 yet. But I think
We haven't seen 10 yet, so yeah, for
this
sure.
one might be my favorite so far.
Okay, so very, very strong episode. I apologize for all the technical delays. I apologize for being kind of off my game at the start, but we got through it, goddammit. We got through it.
Yeah.
All right, well, we are sealing up the box for now. Until next time, when we continue assessing Agent Carter.
Tune in next time, fellow patriots and spies alike, as we continue the further adventures of Agent Carter.
Excelsior! Shit, I'm trying to find a line. Will you just shoot the thing, for God's sakes, and I'm going to go prevent Edwin from killing himself.